The air crackled with expectation, a palpable sense of something extraordinary about to unfold. Jesus, the miracle worker, the teacher who spoke with authority and wisdom, had been invited to dine at the home of a prominent Pharisee. This was no ordinary meal. It was a gathering of the influential and the learned. It was the Sabbath, a day reserved for rest and religious observance, a time when the community paused to reflect and reconnect with their faith. The Pharisees, sticklers for tradition and guardians of the law, watched Jesus intently. Their eyes were sharp, their minds calculating. They were more interested in catching him breaking their meticulously crafted rules than in hearing his message of love and grace. Their hearts were hardened by their own sense of righteousness. Luke sets the scene in chapter 14 of his Gospel, verses 1 to 6, painting a vivid picture of the tension and the stakes involved. A man with dropsy, a condition causing painful swelling, stood before Jesus. His presence was not by chance but by design. It was a test, a carefully orchestrated scenario to see if Jesus would heal on the Sabbath, thus breaking their strict interpretation of the law. The Pharisees' eyes narrowed, their judgment palpable. They were ready to pounce on any perceived transgression. Would Jesus prioritize their rigid interpretation of the law over a man's suffering? The question hung in the air, heavy and charged. Jesus, with characteristic compassion and clarity, saw not a pawn in their game, but a human being in need. His heart went out to the suffering man. He healed the man, his actions speaking louder than words. The miracle was a testament to his boundless love and mercy. Love, Jesus demonstrated, transcended legalistic interpretations of the Sabbath. It was a love that broke barriers and defied expectations. It was a powerful lesson, one that continues to resonate thousands of years later, echoing through the corridors of history. This encounter serves as a springboard for us to delve into the heart of Christianity, love. A love that is active, intentional, and transformative. Not a sentimental, fleeting emotion, but an active, selfless force that compels us to see the image of God in every human being. It calls us to act with kindness, to heal, and to uplift those around us. The Pharisees, obsessed with outward displays of piety, missed the essence of faith. They were so focused on the external that they neglected the internal transformation that true faith requires. They meticulously followed rules and regulations, but their hearts remained untouched by genuine love. Their devotion was more about adhering to a checklist than fostering a deep, meaningful connection with the divine. They were more concerned with appearances than with alleviating suffering. Their actions were driven by a desire to be seen as righteous, rather than to actually do what is right. Jesus' actions on that Sabbath were a stark rebuke to their hypocrisy. He challenged their superficial understanding of faith by prioritizing compassion over ritual. He demonstrated that love supersedes rituals and traditions. His message was clear. The heart of faith is love, not mere compliance with rules. True faith, he taught, is not confined to holy days or places of worship. It is not something that can be compartmentalized or limited to certain times and places. It is a living, breathing force that manifests in our interactions with others, especially those society often marginalizes. Faith is alive in the way we treat the least among us. The encounter with the man suffering from dropsy serves as a stark reminder that our faith should never be about checking boxes or adhering to rigid interpretations of ancient texts. It should be about the transformative power of love and compassion. It is about embodying the love and compassion of Christ in our daily lives. Every action, no matter how small, should reflect the love that Christ showed to all. We are called to be instruments of God's healing grace, reaching out to those in need, regardless of their social standing, beliefs, or backgrounds. Our mission is to be a beacon of hope and love in a world that desperately needs it. The true measure of our faith is not found in our pronouncements of piety, but in the love we demonstrate towards others. It is in the actions we take to uplift and support those around us. It is in the quiet acts of kindness, the willingness to forgive, and the empathy we extend to those who are hurting. These are the true hallmarks of a faith that is alive and vibrant. Jesus, the master storyteller, often used parables to convey profound truths. The parable of the Good Samaritan, found in Luke 10, verses 25 to 37, beautifully illustrates the depth and breadth of love that God expects from us. A man, beaten and left for dead, lay by the roadside. A priest and a Levite, both religious figures, passed him by, their concern for ritual purity outweighing their compassion. Then came a Samaritan, a member of a community despised by the Jews. He, moved by compassion, stopped to help. He bandaged the man's wounds, took him to an inn, and paid for his care. The Samaritan, an outcast in the eyes of many, became the epitome of love. He crossed social and religious barriers to extend a helping hand. His actions challenged the narrow definition of neighbor held by the religious leaders of the time. The parable of the Good Samaritan compels us to ask, who is our neighbor? This question challenges us to look beyond our immediate circles and consider the broader human family. Is it only someone who looks like us, thinks like us, worships like us? Or could it be someone who is entirely different from us in every conceivable way? Jesus' answer is a resounding no. He teaches us that our neighbor transcends all boundaries and limitations. Our neighbor is anyone in need, regardless of their ethnicity, religion, social status, or sexual orientation. This radical inclusivity is at the heart of the message. Loving our neighbor as ourselves means extending the same grace and compassion to others that we would want for ourselves. It's about empathy and understanding. It means breaking down the walls of prejudice and seeing the image of God in every human face. Every person carries a divine spark. This parable is a call to action, a challenge to examine our own hearts. Are we truly living out these values in our daily lives? Are we willing to step outside our comfort zones, to reach across divides, to love those society deems unworthy or different? This is the essence of true compassion. The true measure of our faith lies not in our words, but in our actions. It's about what we do when no one is watching. Let us strive to be like the Good Samaritan, extending love and compassion to all those in need. In doing so, we make the world a better place for everyone. Section 5. God is love. The Apostle John, known as the disciple whom Jesus loved, penned these powerful words: "Whoever does not love does not know God, because God is love." 1 John 4:8. This profound statement lies at the very core of the Christian faith. God, the source of all love, pours out his love unconditionally on all creation. Our capacity to love is a reflection of God's love dwelling within us. When we choose to love, even when it's difficult, even when it's inconvenient, we are reflecting the very nature of God. To love is to know God, to experience him in a tangible way. Love is not merely an emotion, it is an active choice, a decision to put the needs of others before our own. It is a commitment to treat others with kindness, respect, and dignity, even when they don't reciprocate. Section 6. Created in his image. Genesis 1:27 declares, "So God created mankind in his own image. In the image of God he created them. Male and female he created them." This profound statement reveals the inherent worth and dignity of every human being. To say that we are created in the image of God means that we possess intrinsic value, regardless of our race, ethnicity, gender, sexual orientation, or social status. We are all God's handiwork, fearfully and wonderfully made. This truth should radically shape how we interact with others. It should compel us to treat everyone with respect, kindness, and compassion, recognizing that each person carries within them the spark of the divine. Section 7. Jesus, the embodiment of love. Jesus Christ, the Son of God, walked this earth and exemplified love in its purest form. He embraced the outcast, healed the sick, and forgave the sinner. He dined with tax collectors and prostitutes, challenging the social norms of his day. His love knew no bounds. He reached out to the marginalized, the forgotten, the despised. He saw beyond the outward appearances and into the depths of their hearts. His love was transformative, offering hope and healing to a broken world. From healing the leper to forgiving the woman caught in adultery, Jesus demonstrated what it means to love unconditionally. His actions serve as a model for us to follow as we strive to live out our faith in a world often consumed by hate and division. Section 8. A call to compassion. In a world often driven by self-interest and indifference, we are called to be beacons of God's love. The words of 1 John 4:20 resonate with urgency. If anyone says, "I love God," and hates his brother, he is a liar. For he who does not love his brother whom he has seen cannot love God whom he has not seen. We cannot claim to love God while harboring hatred or indifference towards others. True love manifests itself in action, in our willingness to go the extra mile, to forgive freely, to offer a helping hand to those in need. Let us, therefore, embrace the radical love of Christ, a love that transcends boundaries, heals wounds, and unites us in a bond of compassion and understanding. Let us be known by our love, a love that reflects the very heart of God.
Life can be tough. It can knock us down. It can leave us feeling lost and alone. But in those moments, faith becomes our guiding light. It's the beacon that shines through the darkest storms. I remember a story of a young woman named Sarah. She faced a devastating diagnosis: cancer, stage 4. The doctors gave her months to live, but Sarah refused to let go of her faith. She clung to it like a lifeline. Every day she would wake up and thank God for another sunrise. Her faith didn't cure her cancer, but it gave her the courage to face each day with hope and gratitude. Sarah's story reminds me of a powerful quote by Corrie ten Boom: "Never be afraid to trust an unknown future to a known God." This is the essence of faith. It's not about having all the answers. It's about trusting in something greater than ourselves. Sarah's faith carried her through her battle with cancer, inspiring countless others. The Bible is full of wisdom for tough times, but few verses pack as much punch as James 1:2-4. Let's break it down. Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. These words were written by James, the brother of Jesus. He knew a thing or two about trials. He lived in a time of persecution. Christians were facing hardships daily, yet he doesn't tell them to despair. He tells them to find joy, not in the trials themselves, but in what they produce: perseverance. James is saying that our challenges have a purpose. They're not random acts of cruelty. They're opportunities for growth. They're chances to strengthen our faith. The resistance makes us stronger. The struggle builds our spiritual muscles. Life's trials are like a refiner's fire. They burn hot, they're uncomfortable. Sometimes they're downright painful, but they serve a purpose. They burn away the impurities. They strengthen what remains. Think of a blacksmith forging a sword. The metal must endure intense heat and repeated hammering. But the result? A blade of unmatched strength and sharpness. Our trials work in much the same way. They test us. They push us to our limits, but they also reveal our true strength. I once met a man named John. He lost his job, his savings, and his home in the span of a year. It was a crushing blow. But John didn't give up. He used this time to reassess his priorities. He discovered skills he never knew he had. John started a small business from his garage. It wasn't easy. There were days when he wanted to quit, but he persevered. Today, his business employs dozens of people. Hope is a powerful thing. It's what gets us out of bed on the hardest days. It's what keeps us going when everything seems lost. And here's the beautiful truth: hope can't be taken from us. It's not something that others can steal or destroy. Hope is a choice we make. It's a gift we give ourselves. No matter how dire our circumstances, we always have the power to choose hope. It's like a candle in a dark room. The darkness can't snuff it out. Only we can decide to extinguish that flame. This is why hope is so powerful. It's immutable. It's unchangeable. As long as we hold on to it, it remains. No matter what trials we face, we can choose hope. We can choose to believe that better days are coming. And as long as we make that choice, hope remains. Abandoning hope is a dangerous thing. It's like turning off the lights in a dark cave. Without hope, we lose our way. We stumble, we fall, and getting back up becomes harder and harder. I've seen it happen. People who give up hope often spiral into despair. They lose their sense of purpose. They forget their own strength. There's a story in the Bible about a man named Elijah. He was a great prophet. He had performed miracles, but after a particularly tough battle, he lost hope. He ran into the desert. He asked God to take his life. He had forgotten his own strength. He had forgotten God's faithfulness. And in that moment of hopelessness, he was at his weakest. But God didn't abandon Elijah. He sent an angel to care for him. He reminded Elijah of his presence. And slowly, Elijah's hope was rekindled. This story shows us the danger of abandoning hope. It leaves us vulnerable. In times of trial, it's easy to feel alone. But we're not meant to face our challenges in isolation. We're created for community. We're designed to lean on each other. And most importantly, we're invited to lean on God. This is where prayer and community come in. They're lifelines in the storm. They're reminders that we're not alone. Prayer is a powerful tool. It's our direct line to God. When we pray, we're not just talking to the air. We're communicating with the creator of the universe, the one who knows us better than we know ourselves. Prayer doesn't always change our circumstances, but it always changes us. It gives us peace. It renews our strength. It reminds us of God's presence in our lives. Community is equally important. We need people who can support us, encourage us, and sometimes just sit with us in our pain. I think of the story of Job. When he lost everything, his friends came and sat with him for 7 days. They didn't say a word. They just provided presence. That's the power of community. It reminds us that we're not alone in our struggles. So, if you're facing trials, don't face them alone. Reach out in prayer. Pour out your heart to God. One of the most powerful truths in the Bible is that God is always with us. He's not a distant deity watching from afar. He's right here, in every moment, in our joys and in our sorrows, in our triumphs and in our trials. Remembering this can change everything. It can turn our perspective upside down. It can give us strength we didn't know we had. Think about it. The creator of the universe, the one who hung the stars in the sky, is with you right now. He's with you when you wake up in the morning. He's with you as you face your challenges. He's with you when you lie down at night. This isn't just a nice thought, it's a promise from God himself. In Matthew 28 verse 20, Jesus says, "And surely I am with you always, to the very end of the age." But how do we remember this truth in the midst of our trials? It takes practice. It takes intentionality. We can start by looking for God in the little things, in the kindness of a stranger, in the beauty of nature, in the love of family and friends. These are all reminders of God's presence and love. We can also cultivate habits that help us remember God's presence. Trials are never easy. They're not meant to be, but they can be incredibly valuable. They're like a refiner's fire, burning away the impurities and leaving behind something precious. This is what James meant when he talked about trials producing perseverance. He understood that challenges, when faced with faith, can lead to tremendous growth. Think of a diamond. It starts as a lump of coal. It's only through intense pressure and heat that it becomes something valuable. Our trials work in much the same way. They put pressure on us. They heat up our lives. But if we hold on to our faith, if we persevere, we can emerge as something beautiful and valuable. I once met a woman named Maria. She had lost her husband to cancer. It was devastating. For months, she could barely function. But slowly, with the help of her faith and her community, she began to heal. She started a support group for other widows. She found purpose in her pain. Today, she says that while she would never have chosen this path, she's grateful for the person she's become through it. This is the power of embracing growth through challenges. Life can often feel like a stormy sea. The waves crash, the wind howls. It's easy to feel tossed about, with no sense of direction or stability. But faith gives us an anchor. It keeps us grounded when everything else is in chaos. It gives us a fixed point to orient ourselves, no matter how rough the waters get. This anchor of faith isn't about having all the answers. It's not about understanding why we're going through what we're going through. It's about trusting in something bigger than ourselves. It's about believing that there's a purpose, even when we can't see it. It's about holding on to hope, even when everything seems hopeless. I'm reminded of the story of Peter walking on water. When he kept his eyes on Jesus, he could do the impossible. He could walk on the stormy sea, but the moment he looked at the waves, he began to sink. Our faith works in much the same way. When we keep our focus on God, we can weather any storm. We can walk through impossible situations. Being anchored in faith doesn't mean the storms won't come. Perseverance isn't a one-time act. It's a daily choice. It's choosing to take one more step when you feel like you can't go on. It's choosing to get up one more time when you've been knocked down. It's a journey of 1,000 steps, each one a testament to your faith and determination. I think of the story of the Israelites in the desert. Their journey to the Promised Land wasn't easy. It was filled with hardships. There were times when they wanted to give up, times when they longed for the familiarity of Egypt, even though it meant slavery. But they kept going, one step at a time, one day at a time, and eventually, they reached their destination. Our journeys often look similar. We may not be wandering in a physical desert, but we all face our own wildernesses, times of uncertainty, times of hardship, times when the destination seems impossibly far away. But like the Israelites, we're called to keep moving forward, to take one more step, to trust that each step is bringing us closer to where we need to be. As we come to the end of our exploration of James 1 verses 2-4, let's remember the core message. Our trials have purpose. They shape us into who we are meant to be.
God's love is an extraordinary thing, a force that transcends all understanding and human comprehension. It's a love unlike any other, a love that is pure, unconditional, and everlasting. A love that knows no bounds, no limits, and no end. It's a love so vast, so deep, it's almost impossible to comprehend. It stretches beyond the farthest star and dives deeper than the deepest ocean. And yet, this love is offered freely to each and every one of us, without condition or reservation. It's a love that whispers, "You are loved," in the midst of our doubts and fears, a gentle reminder in our darkest moments. This love doesn't waver or fade. It remains steadfast and true, no matter the circumstances. It's a constant, a steady anchor in the storms of life, providing us with unwavering support and guidance. It's a love that pursues us relentlessly, even when we try to outrun it. It follows us, never giving up, always reaching out. God's love is a beacon of hope, a promise whispered on the wind, a love that never lets go. It shines brightly, guiding us through the fog of uncertainty. This love is not earned, nor is it deserved. It is given freely, a precious gift that we can never repay. It's a gift, freely given, a testament to the boundless generosity of the divine. This is the heart of God, a heart overflowing with love that cannot be contained. It spills over, touching every aspect of our lives. It's a love that transforms, that heals, that redeems. It has the power to change us from the inside out. It's a love that offers hope, a future, a destiny. It lights the path ahead, showing us the way forward. It's in the quiet moments, the moments of reflection, that we truly begin to grasp the magnitude of this love. In the stillness, we feel its presence. It's a love that whispers peace to our souls, a love that mends our brokenness. It brings calm to our chaos and healing to our wounds. It's a love that reminds us that we are never alone, never forsaken. It walks with us, hand in hand, through every season of life. Romans chapter 5, verses 6 to 8, speaks volumes about this extraordinary love. These verses are a profound testament to the depth and breadth of divine love that transcends human understanding. It paints a picture of a love so profound, so sacrificial, it leaves us breathless. This love is not just an abstract concept, but a tangible reality that touches the very core of our being. You see, at just the right time, when we were still powerless, Christ died for the ungodly. This timing was not coincidental, but divinely orchestrated, showing that even in our weakest moments, we are not forgotten. Very rarely will anyone die for a righteous person, though for a good person, someone might possibly dare to die. This highlights the rarity and preciousness of such a sacrificial act, making Christ's sacrifice even more remarkable. But God demonstrates his own love for us in this. While we were still sinners, Christ died for us. This act of love was not conditional. It was given freely, without any prerequisites or expectations. These verses cut to the core of God's heart. They reveal the essence of divine love, a love that is pure, selfless, and unwavering. They reveal a love that doesn't wait for us to be perfect, a love that doesn't demand we earn it. This love is patient and kind, always ready to embrace us, flaws and all. It's a love that reaches down into the depths of our brokenness and lifts us up. It is a love that heals, restores, and renews, giving us hope and a future. We were lost and helpless, adrift in a sea of sin. Our lives were like a storm-tossed vessel, without direction or purpose. We had nothing to offer, no way to save ourselves. Our hands were empty, our hearts heavy with the weight of our transgressions. Yet in that moment of utter despair, God's love shone through. It pierced the darkness, bringing light and hope where there was none. He sent his Son, Jesus, to bridge the chasm that separated us from him. This bridge was built with love, a pathway to reconciliation and peace. This wasn't just a random act of kindness, it was a deliberate, intentional act of love. It was a gift given with purpose, meant to transform and redeem. It was a love that cost God everything, yet he willingly paid the price. This sacrifice was the ultimate expression of love, a love that knows no bounds. He saw our worth, our value, even when we couldn't see it ourselves. In his eyes, we are precious, worthy of love and redemption, and this truth can transform our lives. Jesus' sacrifice on the cross wasn't just a historical event, it was a declaration of our worth, a profound act that transcends time and space. It was a resounding statement that echoed through eternity. You are loved, you are valued, you are mine. This message is as relevant today as it was over 2,000 years ago. Think about that for a moment. Reflect on the magnitude of such love, a love that knows no bounds and sees no limits. The King of Kings, the creator of the universe, humbled himself and took on the weight of our sin. He walked among us, shared in our struggles and felt our pain. He endured the agony of the cross, all because he cherished us. His suffering was immense, yet his love was even greater. His sacrifice wasn't a sign of our goodness, it was a testament to his. It was a demonstration of his boundless grace and mercy. He saw past our flaws, our mistakes, our shortcomings, and he loved us still. He embraced us with open arms, offering forgiveness and redemption. He saw the potential within us, the beauty hidden beneath the surface. He nurtured that potential, helping it to blossom and flourish. Jesus' death and resurrection paved the way for us to have a relationship with God. It opened the door to a new beginning, a fresh start. It was an invitation to experience the fullness of his love, a love that heals, restores, and makes all things new. This love is transformative, offering hope and renewal to all who accept it. Sometimes it's hard to grasp the concept of unconditional love. We live in a world where love is often conditional, based on performance, appearances, or social standing. But God's love operates on a completely different level. His love isn't based on our accomplishments or our failures. It's not swayed by our moods, our mistakes, or our past. His love is a constant, an unyielding force that whispers, "You are enough," even when we doubt it ourselves. We are valuable simply because He created us. We are His masterpiece, crafted with care and purpose. He knit us together in our mother's wombs, and He rejoices over us with singing. Our worth isn't determined by our bank accounts, our careers, or our social media following. It's found in the one who created us, the one who calls us His own. We are His, and that alone makes us truly priceless.